Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Her Learning is on. Is Ivan Lincoln Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
Rachel, where are you tapping in from?
New York City.
New York City. Remember that Pace Picante? Picante sauce commercials?
Yeah, I do actually. New York City.
Get a rope. They're going to hang the guy because his fucking picante sauce was from New York. They're going to hang him. They used to be able to get away with different types of stuff.
So much.
They're going to hang this guy. They're going to lynch this guy. Think about this. This guy, they're all sitting around and they want to eat. They're eating salsa. And their salsa is made in El Paso or San Antonio, one of them. I think it's El Paso. And then they find out that his picante sauce is made in New York. And they're gonna lynch him. He's gonna get lynched. He'll be killed for that.
Just the stereotype of this is how things get done in Texas when you don't agree with us. That's literally the stereotype they were trying to play into.
Well, it's facts.
No, it's not.
I just flew back from Houston. I'd like to shout out everybody down there in Houston that I worked with. Fantastic people I met down there in Houston. Fight for Democracy. I did an event yesterday at On the Record down there in Houston. Shout out to Holly Cotton, everyone down there that was hosting it, doing their thing. Trey Daniels. So I did Willie D's podcast. Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. I was walking around the back to get to the place where Willie D does Willie D Live. And, I was walking in there and I heard a voice like, yo, who's that? And I thought for a second, this is Texas. You have to make sure you don't walk onto these people's property because they put the bum bum on you. And it's a real concern.
Sure, it is. Most places.
No, you don't have to worry about that.
Would be like that.
Well, yeah. Like I'm walking into the airport in Houston and it says no unlicensed firearms. It doesn't say no firearms. It says no unlicensed firearms.
Wow.
And
it's the Wild Wild West.
When you're going through security in Houston, it says make sure to take your gun out of your bag.
Wow.
It does.
I didn't see that. I was just in Texas and I didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention, but I definitely didn't see that.
What are you doing in New York? What's going on up there?
Let's do some stuff for Spotify.
Okay.
Actually.
Spotty dog?
It's ad week here in New York City. A bunch of advertisers are out here learning how they can connect with different audiences. So did an interview with Camila Cabello, talking from playlist music to podcasts, talking a lot about higher learning and what we do. And then also what she does as a music artist too. It's really good. Really great conversation.
Did you ask her if she gets along with Normani?
That wasn't my focus.
I want to know.
Also, I don't know any of what goes on with Fifth Harmony. They all seem to be doing well individually, which is how they started out. As a reminder, that's how they all started out.
I want to know what's going on with the young, up-and-coming solo female performers. I want to know what's going on with Hallie. I want to know what's going on with Chloe. I want to know what's going on with Normani. I want to know what's going on with Tyler, because I'll be honest with you, it seems like the young, Black, up-and-coming female performers, I'm not talking about the more established acts like your SZAs. I'm not talking about the more established acts like your Rihannas, your people in that ilk. I'm not talking about them. Been around for a while, doing their thing, all right? SZA actually is not even in the same vein as the rest of those artists because they're a little bit more pop, and SZA is one of the greatest musicians of her generation. Anyway, I want to know what's going on with these younger Black female acts, because I don't see them getting supported like I see some of the other acts that are popping up all over the place.
What do you mean?
I mean,
like explain that.
So,
because Tyla's getting a lot of support.
Yeah, the album flopped.
Do you think that that's just like a sign of the times?
Maybe, but Tyla's getting a big push. I'll say that, right? And, you know, maybe I shouldn't be taking up for Tyla, because maybe she doesn't want me to take up for her, because, you know, maybe she doesn't feel like we're the same or whatever. But these acts that are popping up here, these young Black female acts, you know, Chloe's, your Halleighs, your Normani's, your Tyla's, all of these different people. You know, I'm seeing the Tate McRae's and the Sabrina Carpenters and all of these different people. There's no shortage right now of young, white, solo female acts that are blowing up. There's like a new one every other day. There's an Olivia Rodrigo. There's a Camila Cabello. I'm telling you, there's like a new one every other day. Where it seems like the younger sisters, for some reason, I'm not saying these ladies don't have great careers. I'm saying the younger sisters, for some reason, it seems like they are struggling to catch on and get as much fanfare and stuff as some of their white counterparts. And I'm just wondering if that's something that I'm misperceiving or...
I can't say that a new white one is popping up every other day.
Are you nuts?
What I will say...
Are you nuts?
I will say, yeah, I listened to you name Sabrina and Tate.
Sabrina, Tate...
Do you know that they both been, and I'm not here to take
every year,
but they both, this isn't even Sabrina's first album. Like, this is like 4, 5, like she's been putting out music. Whatever. She's just popped. Yeah. Tate has been around for a second too, and she's just popping. What I will agree with you is that there doesn't seem to be as much, removing Tyla, because there's a huge push for her. There doesn't seem to be as much support from whether it's a label, whoever is behind them with the money doesn't seem to be pushing the Black artists out in the same way. I will agree with you with that. And I'm almost positive that Chloe came out, she was doing an interview and kind of alluded to it. She said something like, well, you know, that takes money. Yeah. Because I remember it getting a little pickup because she's under Beyonce's label. And people thought that was, it was a little shade when she made the comment, but somebody was asking her something and she was like, well, that takes money.
Part of this is an audience thing. And I'm wondering if the audience, for some reason, isn't glomming on to these young Black acts. I'm wondering if the audience might be too transfixed if the Rihanna, Beyonce hold over this, because it started a long time ago. Like, we had a good crop.
The white person?
We had a good crop, and then the dominance of Beyonce and Rihanna just matted everybody out, right? Just kind of took everybody out. And it seemed as if there's so much talent there that these young sisters were coming up and they were making moves, but it doesn't seem like they're getting the same amount. I'm sorry. I could name you a bunch of, I haven't even got to your, my favorite young white act, Dua Lipa. Okay.
Can it also be the type of music? Because the white people you're naming are pop.
Mm-hmm. Some of this, Normani's pop. That's pop.
I don't know what, and maybe this is some of it too. I don't really know what Armani, I wouldn't call Normani pop, really. Poppy. And I wouldn't call Chloe that. And I think that's also some of the issue with Chloe is the way that she kind of rolled out. One, it was such a stark contrast. People were like, whoa. Then it seemed like she really didn't have her own identity. And, you know, some days it was more Beyonce. Some days it was Janet Jackson. Some days, people were like, well, who's Chloe as an artist? Halleigh hasn't done some individual stuff. She's been doing like one-offs and acting. And who else? And Tyla, again, she's in a different space. So I wonder if it's pop that's making these people pop, whereas the R&B just isn't as popular like it was back in the day. Because Lizzo's popped and she popped.
Yeah, Lizzo's one. I would just say that that even with the Lizzo thing, Lizzo popped, and I would say about Lizzo that white audiences accepted Lizzo that didn't accept some of the other acts that I'm talking about. And I'm just trying to act.
It's different genres.
I'm trying to ask. Lizzo shit is like, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Pop.
By the way, I'm not saying that there's an industry-wide conspiracy. Some of this stuff may be the audience's inability to make space for these new artists because they remind them too much or put them in the vein of some of the titans that are already out. Some of the people that are already out, that are already doing their thing, right? So some of it might be some of the mental space that some of the other, the Beyoncés, the Rihannas, and all of these, that they're taking up. Might be, Chloe comes up under Beyonce. Maybe you compare her to Beyonce. I don't know. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about that though. Yeah, Camille, she's all super fucking successful and all of that stuff. And Normani's very successful and stuff. But Normani's fucking every bit as talented as her. And it just doesn't seem like there's the same amount of support. But it's not just the label system, it's the audience too. I just wonder about it. I just want to see them do well. Remember the time that she threw the basketball up and then she hit it with her hip? Do you remember that? Normani did that. She threw the basketball up. She hit it with her hip. She did it in real time. I never seen Camila Cabello do no shit like that. She can't hit a basketball with her hip. Donnie, play that for people if they didn't see the time that Normani threw the basketball up and she hit it with her hip. That's the type of shit I'm talking about.
But you know what you're just describing? That's another thing. I just don't think they rolled her out the right way. When I think of Normani, I think of exactly what you just said. Dancing. Dancing and performing before singing. So I'm saying this as somebody who would consume the music. I want to see her perform and dance. I'm like, oh, they're bringing Normani on stage. It's kind of a little bit of like Tiana Taylor. I'm more into seeing Tiana Taylor perform and dance than I am to sing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
it's like,
I think the Tiana Taylor thing's a little bit different. Tiana Taylor's been around a long time, and she's been with some of the most talented musicians ever. She's with Pharrell, she was with Ye, and she's made some great music. I don't know, man. It's just, it is what it is. You didn't ask her about it. You don't care that they're putting all of this behind her and not Normani. You don't give a fuck about Normani.
It wasn't
made it clear.
Keep talking for me.
Well, yeah, I'm speaking for you in a lot of ways. We're hoping on the podcast that we can get your natural hair flow back. Hair flow gate became crazy on all platforms.
Did it?
Niggas is
I
mad
knew
at
you were going to have a field day putting up. Why are they mad at me?
Because, man, they say we can't have a preference.
Yes. And see, this is the problem with clips. Don't come at me and talk to me unless you listen to the whole segment. Because in the segment, I said, I am open to suggestions. I actually like to hear what you like. What I said was, don't tell me after one date how you want to see me the next time you see me. There's a way to do it, which you beautifully expressed. So I'm not saying I'm not. Again, they could be mad.
Donnie, pop on real quick.
I got a baby with me. Hold on.
You got the baby?
Say what's up, Junie.
Junie.
What is up? Oh, see,
oh
he's being
God,
so active.
Look at you. You're so happy.
Junie.
Hi, Junie.
Say
Donnie,
what's up.
Donnie,
Here you go.
Why? What if we said what's up to Junie and then Junie went like, what's up? What's happening with y'all niggas, man? Y'all good?
That would be weird. But look who's talking to in my life.
Yeah. Donnie, why'd you cut that clip? Why'd you cut that clip like that to leave out all the context for what Rachel was saying? Why you put her out there like that?
See, the thing is, though, it's supposed to be a tease. It's supposed to bring people to the pod so they can hear more. You don't want to give it all in a clip. But I do get it because, I mean, the general message of the clip or what Rachel was trying to say might have been lost. So I mean, you live and you learn. Next time,
give me the full clip so I can say, for all y'all niggas that don't want to do the work, press play.
Donnie,
give me the full clip.
Donnie, I'm gonna send you
make
something.
That my lead in.
I'm gonna send you something right now to play whenever Rachel uses the N-word. I don't want to hear the N-word from Rachel.
He said, niggas.
I don't want to hear the N-word from Rachel. It's not that other clip. I want you to, there's two clips I want to keep on deck. One is the nigga bullshit.
No.
But another one is this one. It just, hold on. I'm gonna see this right now, Donnie. I don't want to hear Rachel use the N-word. It's beneath you, Rachel.
I love that you think so highly of me.
I don't want to hear you say, when we...
To be honest, I didn't even realize I just said it now. Because the crazy thing is I used to say it. And then when I went on The Bachelor, my biggest fear was that I was going to say it in front of the wrong people and on camera. And so I stopped. And then when I was with my ex, I was like, I also tried not to say it. And so, now that I'm free, I'm back.
I decided, and I'm being very serious about this.
Let me hear the clip.
I'm going to drop an album. Donnie, do you know what part on that clip you're supposed to go to?
You eat my sandwiches?
What?
Huh?
What?
You touch my stereo?
What?
When I tell you about with my lovers, boy?
Brother.
Wow.
He's
One, two, three. Oh, man. Damn. You look confused, boy. You ready to join the army, nigga?
Nigga.
Damn it.
So just clip that one part where she says nigga, and every time Rachel
what
says
is
nigga,
that from?
That's from the Eric Andre show. Malaysia Pargo was on the Eric Andre show. And he's just like, and he looked at him, you ready to join the army, nigga? He said, nigga. It's funny. That's how I feel when you say the word. I'm like, nigga, who you talking to? I'm gonna drop an album, I decided. Seriously. I'm fucking being for real.
What kind of album, man?
It's gonna be the music that I like. I'm gonna have Corey produce it. It's gonna be called Pleasers, Teasers, and Nut Bucket Skeezers. That's the name of the album.
Okay, but what kind of music? Not the music I like doesn't work. Like, is it a specific genre, or are you just
pop
it's
rap?
Gonna be a little bit of everything.
Pop rap.
So you created a new genre.
Yep. Well, I mean, they have it, but I'm gonna.
What's pop? Who does pop rap?
It's a good question. But I mean, Kesha?
Flow Rider.
Flow Rider?
100% Flow Rider. Wow, that's the company you're keeping? Okay.
And a bed at the bird, but dipping the dope, and the thing got the down right, giving the dope, but the thing got the Flow Rider.
Good for you, Van.
I'm dropping.
I know you expected me to be negative about that, but good for you. You want to make an album? Go for it. We can't wait to hear it.
It's coming out. All right, we got to get to some sobering news after this. Take a little break and come back and check in on what's going on in Florida. All right, live updates. Hurricane Milton is hitting Florida. Tornadoes, a storm surge, and wind. It made landfall near Siesta Key, Florida, as a dangerous Category 3 storm. It weakened to a Category 1 as it moved throughout the state. The fifth hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. this year. At least 9 people have been confirmed dead in the storm's aftermath. Now, you had Hurricane Helene that hit and left a lot of debris in parts of Florida, which made a lot of people concerned that some of that debris would get whipped up again, making this storm even more dangerous. 16 inches of rain on St. Petersburg, representing a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall for the area. Third hurricane that hit Florida this year knocked out power for more than 2 million people. President Joe Biden said that he pre-deployed thousands of federal personnel to areas affected by the state. It seems as if both the hurricane itself and the response are being heavily politicized, with, of course, people having relevant conversations on both sides of the political aisle, both sides of the political issue. How do I say this? They're having relevant conversations about the political causes, I would say. Keep all this in because I'm trying to orient my thoughts. I'm not saying that the political issues surrounding the storm aren't valid, because I don't see why climate change has become a political issue. It shouldn't be. It's an issue of science. And I don't see why the response to a hurricane would also be a political issue. To me, these are two examples of the intractability of current American politics, where it seems that two things that we should care about, which are people and how they live and the dangers that are knocking at their doors, we can't have those conversations because the politics gets in the way. Climate change should be a conversation that's had, in my opinion, with the future of the human race at the center of the conversation. The response to a hurricane, that conversation should be had with the present of the human beings there at the center of the conversation. But it doesn't seem that we can do either without kicking the can around Washington.
Yeah, I mean, everything is politicized to this point. And you would think, like, this is where it goes back to those conversations of when it comes to issues within the states and dealing with protecting people here, it always seems to be partisan. But when it comes to offering aid to people outside of America, it always seems to be bipartisan. You can always get on the same page when it comes to that. But when it comes to here, we have to make it red or blue. When you watch the footage of what happened with the prior hurricane and now with this one, Milton, it's gut-wrenching. It's devastating to see how communities are wiped out, or there's debris everywhere, flooding, and millions of people without power. It's like just as they're trying to get back on their feet from the last one, or if they didn't, here comes something else. And the fact that we're fighting over whether or not to give money to the American people is wild to me. And it's something that I will never fully understand, why we can get it right. I wouldn't say right, but we can get on one accord when it comes to outside of America, but not when it comes within it.
Why do you think that's the case? If you had to guess.
Money. I mean, I really, it just seems like there have been alliances, money. I don't really know the geopolitics of it all, so I'm really just guessing. But systems that have been in place for decades or whatever it is that we seem to hold on to and live by that. And that's why we seem to be able to get on one accord. I'm really just talking. I actually have no idea. I have no idea.
I'm not well educated on it either, but can I guess? And then
just gonna put me out there.
What are you talking about? I just want to know what you thought.
What
are you talking about, Rachel? What are you drinking? What is that?
Coffee.
Ooh. What kind of coffee?
Just black with some almond milk, sugar.
Fully back.
You shocked?
Okay, so I don't really know the answer either, but can I try to guess? And then I'll have the audience grade me on my assessment of this. So, two reasons. Number one, and this is Timbuktu tinfoil hat bullshit. I think that money dumped into the defense spending or even arms spending to other nations and stuff, I think that money is very easy to embezzle by the military industrial complex, right? So when we're sending weapons and stuff to people and we're authorizing huge checks to go to whatever foreign place that it's going, the people that actually have a hand in making this government run that own politicians and buy up influence and all of that stuff. Boeing, Lockheed, Raytheon, places like that, Exxon, whatever. They get their cut of that. Like when we talk about military aid and all of that stuff, a lot of that stuff comes back to semi-private contracts that big companies get and whatever. So all of that money keeps the pockets filled of the people that actually pull the purse strings in both parties. All right, that's the first thing that I would say. I would think that. The second thing is this: global dominance is the thing that the United States cares about the most. So I think that the United States cares more about geopolitical positioning and the domination of the global South, and wars that haven't really turned hot with Russia, or competition with China, or keeping tabs on Iran, or maintaining global influence and dominance in places all over the world. I think they care more about that than they do about 2,500 people in Central Florida. And I think I probably feel that way just because of my experience with Hurricane Katrina and what the best resourced nation was able to get done during that time. So if I was to guess, why everyone says, oh, billions of dollars are going over here, billions of dollars are going over here, billions of dollars are going over here. It's America basically saying, we're spending all of this money to keep you safe. And we'll keep you safe from enemies that haven't attacked you before. We'll keep you safe from something that's actually about to kill you.
Listen, I don't know, but that sounded pretty legit to me.
Look at you. I don't know. It's probably, but look, I'm just saying. To me,
no,
that's how it feels.
you talking about wanting to have this dominance, this global dominance, makes all the sense in the world. Wanting to have certain positioning in this world, America to be seen as a certain way, makes it makes total sense. Still sad though that we can't get our shit together for us. But
it's very sad. Tell you one thing. We have to get a hold on how we're orienting our society, because if we're anti-vax and anti-science, then what we're essentially signing up for is measles and hurricanes. Measles and hurricanes. Smallpox and tornadoes. Right? These are things that we should be figuring out. We shouldn't be going back to an 1867 type of situation where the storm comes, destroys everything, and the measles come, fuck everything up. It's weird. It's weird. The number one priority for everyone that's in the federal government and these state and local governments as well should be making sure these people are safe and that they have the resources they need to rebuild and put their families back together after these storms. But we shouldn't be having these storms.
You know what, to your point, it's like if we really want to be seen or positioned a certain way globally, well, how does that work if this country goes to shit? I guess that's something I'm not understanding either. I'm taking your reasoning as the truth. It doesn't make sense for us to be all out of sorts, but be saying that, we are who we are globally. Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. Interesting.
Well, our heart goes out to all the people that are, have suffered through the hurricane. And I can't even imagine. And people still suffering from, what was the other one saying? Still suffering from that one too.
The physical, emotional stress that a weather event like that puts on a community cannot be overstated. Imagine all the security that you put up with your house. If you're talking about the confluence of, income insecurity, wealth insecurity, with the little bit that you do have then being destroyed. I know healthy older people that died of stress and broken hearts from Katrina because, what they had spent putting their lives into, their homes, their neighborhoods, was destroyed in a couple of hours. So my heart goes out to these people, and we're going to make sure that we provide all kinds of resources for people to be able to help. Anything will help. Okay, Trump time. You love him. He's your fave. You're into him. Okay. Vagina.
Don't do that to me every single time. Don't do that.
Bob Woodward. This is interesting. Bob Woodward has a new book coming out. Famed journalist Bob Woodward has a book coming out where he reveals that Trump was on the horn with Putin, and he revealed some of Biden's private remarks on Obama and Netanyahu. Now, what we're to believe, according to Bob Woodward, who is as credible and trustworthy a source as we've had in American political journalism, Trump has had as many as 7 private calls with Vlad the Impaler, Vladimir Putin, since leaving office, and secretly sent him COVID-19 test machines during the height of the pandemic. This is in Bob Woodward's new book called War. Now, before we get to the stuff about Benjamin Netanyahu and some of the Obama stuff, just the thought of him having talked to Vladimir Putin 7 times since he's left office and sending him COVID-19 stuff has got people going crazy, talking about what the nature of Trump's relationship with Putin is. We already knew it was kind of, chummy. Putin and Xi are fucking best friends. And it seems as if his relationship with Donald Trump is a little warmer than we even thought that it was.
Does it? I mean, obviously the revelation that while many Americans were struggling, dying, trying to get access to things in regards to the COVID coronavirus, he's over there sending stuff, supplies, tests to Putin. So the specifics of it, are shocking. But the fact that he was communicating with him, I don't think was. I think the way he speaks of Putin always alludes to the fact that they have a warm relationship. So the shocking thing to me are the tests that were provided when the American people were in a time of need, not the 7 phone calls.
Well, okay, I agree with you. I would say that the phone calls get me because, if you don't like the guy, you don't really have to be communicating with him after you're not president anymore, right?
He loves him.
Right. I wonder all kinds of things like this. I do. I wonder. I'm stupid enough to wonder if Vladimir Putin attacked Ukraine during the Biden administration to twist up the West, causing instability, perhaps making the Trump presidency more likely. It's obvious that
unlikely,
more likely,
or likely,
more
likely. Okay.
It's obvious that Vladimir Putin really enjoys Donald Trump being the president. So knowing that the situation in Ukraine would stress America, it would squeeze NATO and freak everybody out. I wonder if that's something that you do because you like to be a puppeteer over the American president. And if you're Bob Woodward and you know this information, do you save it for your book? Or do you scream to holy heavens, look what's going on with the goddamn ex-president and the president?
Okay, well, this could be the October surprise because people don't really think it was the unsealing of the indictment. So this could be it. And I guess if I push back on what you said, this could be him crying out about it. His book comes out, next week? This could be it. It's coming out before the election. I mean, you could say it's a little too late because voting has started. Early voting has started in certain places, but I don't know. I also look at this as when I look at the 7 calls, no, it's not shocking that he talks to Putin, but to your point, it's since leaving office. So then my question is, what are you talking about? What are you planning? Because 7 calls to me seems like planning. What are you trying to do? What's the reason to talk? Putin doesn't seem like he just is somebody who just enjoys Trump's company and just wants to check on him and see how he's doing. It seems like these are calls with purpose. That's the alarming thing. And then I don't know if this will have an effect on voters who are still trying to figure it out, which I don't know how you could still be in that position at this point. But this is, if he's having this relationship with him when he's not in the presidency, as the president, imagine what will happen when he is the president. This is just foreshadowing the relationship that he will have with Putin, which I think that's why the book's coming out right now when it is.
Also, the book details Biden's complicated relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu. Says that the president has called him son of a bitch and a bad fucking guy. Says that Netanyahu's been lying to him regularly. Newsflash. Continued to say he was going to kill every last member of Hamas. Biden had told him that was impossible, threatening him both publicly and privately. Look, I talked while I was in Houston. I talked with some members of the Muslim community, and everyone needs to come to terms with the fact that they're members of the Muslim community that no matter what are never going to forget the way the Democrats, namely Joe Biden, comported themselves during this war in the aftermath of October 7th. And
how do those people feel about the election?
We're going to, if it's okay with you, Rach, I think we will have somebody on to talk about it. I don't want to speak for them. But we had conversations, and these are people that are at a Democratic event. Now, I'm not a Democrat. I go where my policies and where my politics and policies align, where I have alignment with people. And I tend to caucus with the left. So I was there. But you get into a conversation and you talk to some people and they start telling you about how they actually feel over some cocktails. Cocktails. Why are they cocktails? Why the cock? Do we know this? Donnie, look that up for me.
No, Donnie, don't.
Donnie, why?
I think it
going.
has to do with the bird, but go ahead, keep going.
Does it have to do with the bird, the cocktail?
It's got to. It's got to.
Is it cocktail?
Is that a bird?
Is a cocktail a bird?
A male chicken. No, the tail of a male chicken. Yeah,
a cocktail.
Oh,
a male chicken. The cock's crow.
I never thought about it that much.
Why is it a cocktail? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, 17th century. Original use was an adjective describing. Okay, wait. Let me find. Hold on. I'm just reading.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Okay. We want the answer, Donnie. We want the answer.
He can't move on now. He can't move on.
The original use was an adjective describing a creature with a tail like that of a cock, specifically a horse with a docked tail. Having a cocktail horse, like I'm trying to find the drink analogy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is perhaps analogous from the idea of an adulterated spirit. I don't know. That's not a good answer.
Adulterated spirit. So does the cocktail have to do with dick?
No, there's no way that.
Why is it a cocktail? Why not a vagina tail?
The first written mention of a cocktail as a beverage appeared in 1803. The first definition, I don't know. These aren't real answers.
You don't know. They're keeping it from us. Let me ask you a question. And this is serious now. I'm seriously asking this question. All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question right now. And Rachel, I don't mean to get vulgar, all right? But we're here now.
Yeah, you do. You don't give up.
So the opposite of the word dick is what?
I don't know.
Donnie, Rachel doesn't want to answer it. She's
Well, no. Let me tell you why. Because if you had said penis, I would have said vagina.
okay. So then the opposite of dick is what? This is the easy one.
Coochie?
No, it's not bad. But the opposite of dick is Donnie. What's the opposite of dick?
It's pussy.
It's pussy.
Oh, I should have known
Opposite
that.
of dick is pussy. So then,
I wasn't even trying to not say it.
what's the opposite of cock?
Coochie.
So it's dick, pussy, cock, coochie. Donnie?
I don't agree because I feel like cock is a white man's word, and a white man's not saying coochie, so it's got to be something else.
Oh,
Twat.
I got it. Oh, it could be twat. It could be twat.
Yeah.
Only the nastiest white women use twat, by the way. If you hear twat, you got to go to the clinic.
So,
But cunt.
go ahead.
I think it's cunt. I think it's dick, pussy,
No.
cock, cunt. No? I think it is. I think it's dick,
No.
pussy, cock, cunt. I think.
God, I hate when we go off like this. It's
Donnie, what do you think?
it's twat.
You think it's twat?
Donnie's not going to say that word.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
My mind honestly went to cunt before twat or coochie.
Okay.
So I'm leaning towards Van, but I feel like there is a right answer here and we're missing it.
I think it's dick, pussy. That's obvious. But I think the opposite of cock would have to be cunt, because when you're talking about white people and the way that they say what they say and do what they do, the nasty, weird is cock. Oh yeah, cock. And
you know why I hate this?
Why?
Because I've spent all yesterday promoting higher learning and talking about the podcast and what we do and encouraging people to listen to our podcast. And here we are talking about coochies and cocks and dicks in the middle of talking about this bombshell of a book that's coming out next week.
It's my fault.
I apologize for all the new listeners that I recruited to this podcast. We're better than this. We could have saved this towards the end.
Well, I will say that we are going to have to break this out and ask the audience, though.
No, I did not.
Yeah, we are.
No.
We are going to have to, because we have to move on. Because this started off with me want to know where cocktail came from. Donnie couldn't provide the answer. So,
and then you gave us an insight to how your mind thinks. Like this is how
first of all,
I
apologize. Okay, and you know what the rule is.
All our new listeners, you have ADHD.
First of all, I apologize, and we know what the rule is. I apologize. You got to move on. It's like,
I got the answer. Though.
Boom. What's up?
Okay, it says there's a hypothesis though. So it evolved from the French coqueteur or egg cup, which allegedly was used to serve guests a mix of cognac with a dash of bitters. Several authors also claim that it may be a corruption of the word cock ale, which was a popular specific type of drink in the 17th and 18th century.
Well, anyway, I was talking to members of the Muslim community, and they were telling me about how they felt. And I think that we should bring some of them on the podcast so that we can have a nuanced discussion of political expectations in terms of how things are going, and how the Muslim community feels. We just had the 1-year anniversary of October 7th, and I know that there was tremendous pain in the Jewish community surrounding the event, and that was, you saw that, you felt that, it was all over the place. I think there's also, and that pain should be recognized and understood. And I'm embarrassed that we didn't commemorate it here. We should definitely talk about it. We also have to remember that there are tens of thousands of dead in Palestine. There's increased violence and settler violence going on in the West Bank, happening in Gaza. Of course, as things spread to Lebanon and different places like that, you're seeing civilian deaths and things. So I think that we're at a particular point where the Muslim community feels a particular unsafeness. And I think that, once I started to speak to some people, I started to see and be able to feel some of the animus that they have towards the administration. And whereas I don't think these weren't people that were, once again, they were at a democratic situation. These weren't people that were like, they weren't using the term Genocide Joe or anything like that. But I think we have to have a conversation of how there is a reckoning and a mending of what once was a pretty strong political coalition, if you want to. If not, we could.
I would be very interested in having the conversation, especially coming into an election. I'd want to hear what they would want. I want to hear how they're voting, how they reconcile it if they are voting, and what their expectations are, should Kamala Harris get into office, and maybe what their fears are if she doesn't. I'm very interested in it.
Rachel, did you hear the new J. Cole record?
I didn't. I saw that he did release something where he addressed what's been going on between Drake and Kendrick, but I didn't get to listen to it. What were your thoughts on it?
This is my thoughts. So J. Cole released a record called Port Antonio, which I thought that this record, when I hear Port, I think of Taylor Port. Do you know what that is?
No.
Donnie, do you know Taylor Port?
I do.
Break it down to Rachel.
It's this strong wine that comes in
wine.
It's a wine, yeah. I think it's only red. I've only had it once and kind of recently, actually. And yeah, it's stronger than normal. I don't think it tastes good, but and I think you might agree. But yeah, it's a strong wine, high alcohol content.
Get fucked up off that Taylor Port.
Is it boxed wine?
No, but it's like the present day version of Ripple. You get fucked up off that Taylor Port, Whatever, man. You're not fucking with it, man. That Taylor Port. Shout out to
I'm not.
My people up in New York put me on that.
We got to stop detouring. Keep going.
I apologize. Port Antonio is the name of the song, and he talks about in the song, where Cole is right now. Fantastic rapping, as you'll always get with J. Cole. But he also talks about sort of why he bowed out of the beef and why he is still indebted to Drake because of things that Drake has done for him. And some of the lyrics are pretty...
Oh.
Yeah, he says, I still fuck with you, Drake. Drake, you've done a lot for my career. He says it in there,
Oh.
He also says at one point...
Drake has one friend.
Drake's got one friend. He also says in there, he says, I tried to stand in the middle of them like Michael in the Beat It video. Basically what he says, when Mike's wearing the red.
Yeah, of course.
And he says, because what happens after that is heavy metal. Heavy metal gets to popping, the guns and stuff like that. J. Cole is a fucking...
It's very good. Yeah.
But a lot of people were like, shut the fuck up, Cole. A lot of people are like, this is his sort of take on everything that happened. But a lot of people are like, we ain't trying to hear that shit now from you, Cole. Great song, great rapping. Always gonna be with J. Cole. But a lot of people are like, take that shit somewhere.
I gotta listen to the whole thing. I, without even listening, am very curious and kind of glad that he said something because, we saw him do his thing on stage, apologized for the song, didn't want to be a part of it, nothing. And so I kind of like the J. Cole perspective. He was in it in the beginning. People just want to have something to say. Can we get back to the Woodward book?
Okay.
You didn't finish.
I was finished. That was it.
Were we done? Because I thought you said that you were going to talk about Biden and his thoughts about...
I mentioned it.
Okay.
I mentioned Biden.
All right, then we're done.
Oh, I apologize. But like...
No. I didn't. We started talking about the people that you met. You spoke with the Muslims at the Democrat.
That's because of the Biden thing. That's because of the whole deal. That was a segue into that. To talk about that. Then, Donnie, leave all of this in. I like to be checked in real time.
No. I just thought, we've been detouring quite a bit this podcast. And so I didn't know if you meant to come back to anything in the book. But okay.
Nah, that's it.
Okay.
Fuck that nigga.
All right.
Like we talked about it enough. to me, if you learn something like that, you need to tell people right away. But I'm not even going to get into
I
that whole
agree.
thing.
I do agree with you. But this man's trying to make some money
Fuck his fucking book. Like,
at the expense of the American people.
I'm fucking with it. Bob
Like the
Woodward
government.
he's a
Like the
legend, but,
government. Everything.
you know what I'm saying? No, J. Cole, yeah. So, you know, this is what I'll say about the whole thing. It's great, good rapping and all of that, but it does seem like a situation where now Cole probably needs to shut up while the grown folks is talking. That's how it feels.
Oh, that's how you feel?
A little bit. And
While the grown folks are talking?
and
Wow.
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. What happened with the beef to me was at the beginning of it, a lot of people were doing a lot of talking. Remember, this started off as a 20v1. Future, Metro, Kanye, everybody going in on Drake. All of that stuff fizzled away. It all went away. All of those other voices became less and less important the more that they talked. Even the whole BBL Drizzy thing was very, very funny. Shout out to King Walonis, who's come up this year. Talented guy. All that stuff fizzled away. And what happened was the two big dogs in this situation, the two big dogs, ended up being the two having the conversation. Everybody else fizzled away. Ross fizzled away. Future fizzled away. Metro fizzled away. Like everybody fizzled. Kanye fizzled away. Everyone fizzled away. It was a lot of fizzling going on. Two people left. Two people left. These were the two big dogs having the conversation. And unfortunately, Cole was a part of the fizzle. He's a fizzler. He is. He's a fizzler. He fizzled. And so
He
now
didn't fizzle. He literally just left.
He fizzled.
He didn't fizzle. He just walked away.
He was in the middle of it. By the way, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have done that because he ended up doing the right thing, but he fizzled. And so now, after he fizzled, you can't unfizzle. You fizzle. So I think this probably would have been better left addressed in like an interview or something like that. It's good rap and good song, but I can't really judge it in terms of the narrative with the whole beef and all of that stuff. It just has to be judged as a J. Cole song. And J. Cole is just one of the best rappers that's ever lived.
I disagree because it was about J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick in the beginning. J. Cole didn't fizzle. He bounced out. I am a person who's curious as J. Cole, who bowed out and then watched along with everybody else. And it could have been a whole different situation if he was in it for him, for Drake and Kendrick involved. Who knows? This whole thing could have been different. I'm curious as a person who was originally named and now took himself out, what he thinks now that all of this has come out. I like to hear his thoughts.
Yeah, let me tell you something right now. Let me get Rachel right now. I'm about to get Rachel. You're not curious. You don't really care.
Why?
Because you haven't listened to the record. When that Kendrick dropped, you was all on it. You love you some Kendrick.
I was fumbling. Trying to get to the Kendrick.
When that Kendrick dropped, Rachel was all over Kendrick. What is Kendrick gonna say? Because you know this dropped. You might be curious when you're somewhere having a cocktail with on a one nigga night. You might listen to it then. You know what I'm saying? You might listen to it then, but really, the shit you don't really give a fuck about that. The people listening to you don't care. The people that you care about talking about this stuff is Drake and Kendrick at this point. Cole is fucking the greatest. I like Cole probably just rapping. I like Cole probably better than either of those guys. Just rapping. I really, really like Kendrick. I really like Drake. But I like just rapping. I probably like Cole the most. But he fizzled. He chose to fizzle. He's a fizzler. Fizzler on the roof. And he made the right decision to fizzle. But you gotta stay fizzled.
Okay.
Podcast. Trump went on a podcast. Kamala Harris went on a podcast. Not a podcast. She went on Sirius. What do you want to talk about? Trump or Kamala?
I mean, I think we can quickly touch on both.
Okay.
I don't think that there's too much to say about either one.
Kamala went on Howard Stern. She levied criticism Donald Trump's way. Donnie, audio, please, my brother.
Doesn't support our friend Ukraine. Doesn't support, therefore, something America should always, and has always, by the way, been a champion of, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity, which means the importance of standing against anyone who tries to take another nation by force.
Right.
That's what we stand for as Americans, that you don't do that. And if you do that to our friends, we're going to stand with our friends. You're getting played. And some would say, look, I grew up in the neighborhood. Some would say you're getting punked.
Yeah.
If you stand in favor of somebody who's an adversary over your friends on principles that we all agree on. And you look at it, it's not only that. He says he's going to be a dictator on day one.
Punked is funny and very, very telling. What do you think about her use of the term punked? I have thoughts. About her using that term.
I think it's telling.
Yeah, I think it's telling.
I mean, when I heard that she said it, or when I heard her say it, I thought she was trying to bait him, similar to the way that she did in the debate, because that's a word that he can't handle that's in reference to him. That's how I looked at it. Like, she's saying words that are going to trigger him into unraveling even more. How did you take it?
That's actually very, very, makes a lot of sense. I get that. Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
That. That's good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Also, though, I think that Kamala, in her attempt to appeal to male voters in different places that she's at, she's on Howard Stern. That's a place to appeal to I think maybe not as much now as it would have been 20 years ago, but that is a place to appeal to a white male voter. I mean, this isn't the whack packer. A whack pack era, Howard Stern from like 2005, 2004, 2003. Some of the best, worst content ever. Ever. If you want to be entertained, go back and listen to an argument between Sal the stockbroker and Artie Lang on the Howard Stern show from like 2003, 2004. Like, when the whack pack was all together, it was completely un-PC, sexist, racist, vile, all of that stuff. But that shit was fucking funny and really entertaining. It was a great fucking show. I don't care. It's not quite that anymore, but that's still the DNA of the show. So when you go on there now and you're saying that Trump is getting punked, you're kind of speaking their language a little bit. And I think that's what she's trying to do when she's talking to the Howard Stern audience.
I gotta agree with you. I mean, there was a lot of talk about her going on, not just the fact that she went on. It was talk that she was a little bit more personal than we've seen her. Like, he didn't really hit her on the politics. It was more about, we kind of saw a different side of her where we got to know her a little bit better, which I think is nice to see because, we've been seeing her make the rounds and she might be saying some of the same things and answering the same questions that she's been answering. So this was a little bit more of like, who is Kamala Harris as a person? But I think that it was good for her to go on this show because, to your point, he has a lot of males and a lot of white males that listen to the show, and he endorsed her.
Yeah.
He shit on Trump and he endorsed her to his majority male audience.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I don't know if it'll sway, but I think it's a powerful move that he had her on. It was a nice conversation and he was very complimentary to her.
Yeah. He's moved to the left pretty strongly and mellowed in, I'd say, the last 10 years. So maybe this is not the bombshell that it would have been back in the day or whatever. However, he is still Howard Stern, and he is still a fantastic interviewer, and I thought it was a good idea for her to do it, and I thought she came across pretty well on it. Trump. Oh, before we go on, she said her favorite cereal is Special K. I don't know about that.
You don't believe it. She don't eat cereal.
You said Raisin Bran too.
She said Raisin Bran too.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be honest, and those are two of the wackest answers that you could have. Now, it depends on which Special K, though, I'll be honest. So they have... God damn,
sneeze.
nigga, what the fuck just happened? Rachel, what the shit? Oh,
I tried to sneeze.
Donnie, run that back, bro. Oh, Rachel was...
I was about to sneeze, and then I laughed at what you said. And they both came out at the same time.
What the fuck, man?
It scared me too. It scared me too.
Oh my God.
It scared me too. You almost killed me.
Now, if you have the Special K, there are different Special Ks that are good. Like the regular Special K is terrible. But like if you get like Special K with the strawberries or the like fucking almond toasty Special K, you can do okay. But I wouldn't have gone with Special K. I feel like that's a politician's answer. We all know that.
It sounded like it. And I don't even eat cereal. And I was like, I don't know about that.
What's the best cereal?
I don't eat cereal because I don't like milk.
Oh, that's right.
But if I was eating cereal like as a snack, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I always liked. Nigga. I liked Cheerios too.
Okay.
As a snack. And I used to eat Fruit Loops as a snack.
I bet you did. Donald Trump went over to the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh.
No surprise there.
And he talked about a couple of different things. He talked about his assassination. And he also said that he is a basically truthful person. This audio's been making the rounds. This video's been making the rounds. Donnie, play it for us.
But I always refer him back to the simplicity of McDonald's. She lied about McDonald's. She lied about many things. And she's a liar. There should be some kind of a rule when they know it's a lie, you can't do a commercial on it. But this is a thing that's going to end in 29 days, so they can say what they want. I have a hard time doing it to them because I'm basically a truthful person. But and frankly, she's given me so much ammunition. I don't really have to. I mean, she's a radical left lunatic.
What did you think of him saying that? What did you think of the response?
Well, what do I think of him saying it? I think he believes every word that he says. He does believe that he's a truthful person. He believes everything that he says. I don't think he thinks any of it is a lie. Their response was laughing in his face. I guess that's a response. I don't know what you really want me to say to that. What I found interesting about him on there was him explaining what he called the weave. Didn't you see this?
I did not see this part. Did I miss something that was awesome?
Well, he's like explaining his rambling as the weave. He calls it's like a genius thing that he does, his words, where he knows he goes off. He'll be talking about one thing and he goes off and like starts bringing up random stuff that makes no sense. But then he brings it back to his point and he says, that's a genius thing that he does. And nobody else can do it like him. He calls it the weave.
Play a snippet of it.
Yeah, play
Go
a snippet
Go
of it.
ahead, Donnie. Go ahead.
Dwight Eisenhower was sort of a moderate, General Eisenhower. Did you know that they had 8% generals, president of the United States, 8% were generals, 92% were politicians, and then you had Trump. See, that's a weave. You know, we go off into
I like that. Because now I'm like, where are we weaving to? I'm into this.
No, think of it, because we're talking about generals, and then you get back onto the general.
There you go.
Because what I was going to say is that Eisenhower.
I like the play-by-play for the week.
No, it's good, though. Isn't it great? We go into it. We mention Eisenhower, and then I say he was a general, 8% generals, 92%, and now you go back, okay? Boom. It's part of the weave, you know? Then you go back. No, you got to keep it all together. You got to be sharp. If you're not sharp, you're dead. Think of it.
let's move to something else with this. If Donald Trump wanted to come on Higher Learning, would you have him on?
Yes.
You have to. You got to do it. I don't think that
I would do it.
Yeah, I don't think that he would come because I think Donald Trump and to a degree Kamala Harris in these podcasts are only playing home games. Now,
he went home on the flagrant podcast.
Oh, that's a home.
That was home.
Yeah, that's a home. Mm-hmm. But like, if it's a home game in the same way, it's not a home game. It's not the ideological home game that people might think it is, but it's a home game because it's not a place that is going to interrogate policy. And that's all you need for it to be a home game. All you need for it to be a home game is to not get resistance. If you, like Theo Vaughn had Bernie on there. Theo Vaughn had Trump on there. That's a home game for both guys. Theo Vaughn is going to vibe out with you. He's going to crack jokes with you. He's going to do the whole thing, right? When you go on Aiden Ross, that's a home game because that guy's a sycophant for you, right? Mm. But a lot of these pods, like if he went on Pod Save America, not a home game, right?
Right.
Not a home game. If Kamala went on Dan Boingingo, not a home game, right? Mm-hmm. If she goes on Ben Shapiro, not a home game. Those podcasts, either candidate isn't going to do. They're not going to do podcasts where they sit down for an hour with someone who interrogates their worldview to the nth degree. When they do that...
If Trump went on Breakfast Club, would it be a home game?
No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be. Breakfast Club is not allowed to do that. And I think that when people have had the highest criticism of Breakfast Club, it's been when they felt like it was that with like a Candace or something like that. But Breakfast Club, because if Donald Trump
goes genuinely asking.
I'm serious, but I'm genuinely answering. Oh, Danny. So if Donald Trump goes on the Breakfast Club, first of all, Angela's going to be there. And if Angela Rye's there, it certainly will not be a home game. That's the first thing.
Sure.
Secondly, if he goes on the Breakfast Club is going to ask questions that they think Black Americans want to know the answers to. And those questions are not going to be questions that are going to be comfortable for Donald Trump. You're going to have to ask Donald Trump about reparations if he goes on the Breakfast Club. You're going to have to ask him about Charlottesville, neo-Nazi, Proud Boys type stuff. You're going to have to do that. It would be malpractice if they didn't. So it can't be a home game.
Well, to your point, home games aren't just about, it's the pushback. It's the interrogation. I ask because of how they handled the Candace Owens interview.
Yeah.
Let's just say Angela wasn't there for that. So I'm assuming, I can't promise Angela will be there. She's not a regular member of the Breakfast Club.
She's there almost every single time they do a political interview, though. Her or somebody else.
She wasn't for the hour.
Yeah.
And I guess my thing is if they ask the question, that's fine. Would they interrogate is more of why I was asking. Or not interrogate, would they push back, which is more of why I was asking, would that be considered a home game? Not because they're pro-Trump, just because we go back and forth with people on our podcast, like a Larry Elder situation. That's more of what I meant.
Can I say something about the Larry Elder situation, though? I'll be honest about the Larry Elder thing. I didn't want to fucking argue with Larry Elder.
I know you didn't.
Larry came on and Larry was like, let's fucking get to it. Like, Larry, I said, Larry, how's your day been going? My day's been going great. The sun is shining. Fuck you, Van. Whoa, Larry. Larry, Larry, what are you doing? Larry, you're running for president. Yeah, I'm running for president to keep this country from niggers like you. Larry, what the fuck? What are you doing?
That's how Trump would be. So it would be inevitable to not have a back and forth with him. It would be inevitable. I wish he would come on the podcast, though. I would love it.
Yeah. Is it time for mailbag? Or do we have to talk about the Met? Okay. So, I don't understand. I don't understand the Met Gala thing. I don't understand. Can you do this one? I don't understand what's happening. I do not get it.
Okay, so you know that every year they have a theme for the Met Gala, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I don't know what it was last, but it's very campy. It's, Midnight Summer Dream or American something. Well, they announced this year the new theme, and it's super fine tailoring Black style. And it's a focus on the history of the Black dandy and the way peacocking goes beyond aesthetics to empowerment. They've named the co-chairs of the gala, which it's historic in that it's 5 Black men, A$AP Rocky, Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, and I said 5. Oh, Pharrell Williams and LeBron James is going to be an honorary chair. So this had a lot of people talking because the first thing you saw was Black dandy. And I think a lot of people were like, what's Black dandy? What does that mean? Well, the first picture I saw looked like Lakeith Stanfield in Get Out. The way that he was dressed. That's the first thing I saw.
I see this guy.
And so a lot of people were like, well, what is this? And I looked up an article about it, explaining like, what is this theme and what does it mean? There's a book. It says the theme is inspired by co-curator and professor, I guess Monica Miller wrote this book in 2009, Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of the Black Identity.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. I don't know what this style really is. And my confusion is, how do non-Blacks go about dressing this way to the Met Gala, which will be the majority of the people there? That's where I guess I'm confused. I don't know this. It just feels wrong. I'm
wrong?
And I don't, Donnie, do you get
I really don't know. I really fucking have no clue. Wouldn't like Jadena, isn't that like a Black dandy? Wouldn't he be like a dandy? That's dandy. I kind of think I get it.
Guess, are you thinking like early,
like zoot suit,
like the 1900s?
Like, like zoot suit guys, and it's dandy. They're flashy. They're it's coming on. That type of shit, right?
It just seems to be all over the place, but the word dandy, I don't know. I guess my first thought was the Get Out, because that's the first picture that I saw. And I thought, well, what is this? How are these people going to be dressing? And it seems to be all over the place. Like I've seen them say examples like Andre 3000, A$AP Rocky style, like all these are different styles. I don't know if it's just celebrating Black men in fashion. And I guess just say that. But it kind of had people confused as to what is this look. And it seems like close to the time of slavery. So I don't, I'm not the only one who was thinking like this. What is Black dandy?
We got to relax.
I'm not the only one.
Somebody will fuck up. You guys mark this down. You guys mark this down. Mark this date right here. Some white person will fuck up. They will fuck up. They will fuck up at the Met Gala. And that's okay. Right? They're going to do it no matter what happens. They will fuck up at the Met Gala. They'll come there. They'll go Black dandy. They'll darken their skin. They'll come in like fucking dressed up like Sammy Davis Jr. or some weird ass shit. But they will fuck up. However, I don't think the idea of a super fashion forward, flamboyant Black dressing man is necessarily negative. Slaves to Fashion is an interesting title, but still, I'm looking at this and saying, fancy Black guys, Andre Leon Talley, guys like that.
They're saying, but see, like, that's just a suit. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all, if you're just celebrating Black style, Black men in fashion, fine. But I think the dandyism of it, I'm looking at another quote that says it's going to illustrate how Black people transformed from being enslaved to style. You see what I'm saying? It's connected to slavery. And that's where I'm like, I understand you're trying to do something historic. I'm not trying to pick it apart. In that sense, it just seems a little confusing, and it seems to be closely related to slavery. And it seems to open up the door. Like, what if somebody comes with a knapsack, the stick, The knapsack. You know, it's campy.
I know.
It's campy.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not
with
gonna
cotton.
I'm not
with
gonna
cotton. Like, it's opening up the door for it.
I'm not gonna bedwet about it. I'm not gonna be like, oh my God,
No.
something's gonna go wrong. But I understand that whenever you open the door, a motherfucker puts their crack a foot through it. So I get it that could happen, but I don't know who they got doing it. LeBron, Coleman Domingo. Coleman Domingo is a dandy. Dandy as shit. Huh?
He's just stylish. I love his style. I think he's one of the best dressed people.
He like to show chess. One reason why.
Yeah, he does.
One reason why I am still on my, I'm up to 80 push-ups a day, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, up to 80 push-ups a day. It's like, that's nowhere near the amount of push-ups I used to be able to do. But one reason why I still want to work my chest off, work it, is because I want to be able to show chess. See, Coleman Domingo shows chess.
Mm-hmm.
I show cleavage. And it's different. So he shows chess. I want to be able to show a little chess. I want to be able to wear one of those, those like joints that comes like this. It's like a U. Donnie, you know what I'm talking about? Huh? No, it's
t-shirts.
like, it's a shirt where it comes like this and the whole middle of the chest is out.
Yes.
Donald Glover wears them too. I'm gonna start wearing that shit.
I support it. I support it. Yes, it's Coleman, it's ASAP, it's Pharrell, it's LeBron, and Lewis Hamilton.
And I have a hint of taco meat. But mine doesn't beat up. It lays down.
There's nothing wrong with taco meat. There's nothing wrong with chest hair.
Oh, Father, Daddy, where are you? You've abandoned me, Father. Okay. I don't want to talk about Kendrick Perkins and the NIL thing.
I think we're done.
I think it's over. Mailbag, quick mailbag. Mailbag time. Time to read your letters and then we'll reply to them. Oh, it's mailbag time. Write us with your queries and we'll chime in.
All right, real fast. Beckdel Broad asks, do you have any teachers that you will always hold a grudge against?
I know Van does.
Actually, no. I've had teachers that have said stuff, but I'm not good at holding a grudge. So actually, no.
I don't hold grudges either.
Yeah, I don't hold grudges.
Dang, that was disappointing.
Yeah, that's
all right. I had a teacher in the 6th grade. I don't remember her name. Social studies.
Anybody ask you, nigga?
I'm just saying. Y'all didn't give anything.
Donnie
you didn't answer the question.
Go for it, Donnie. Donnie, go for it.
Donnie,
Beckdel Broad is
did you pick
unsatisfied.
this fucking question? You trying to get some shit off your chest right now. Get your shit off. Go ahead.
Go for it, Donnie.
I'm just saying, there was a teacher who I specifically remember was, she used to call W.E.B. Du Bois, W.E.B. Du Bois. And I thought that was wrong. And I was like, are you sure it's not Du Bois? And she was like, it's Du Bois. And since then, she would call me out for like little things. I was a teenager. I had a pimple. And she was like, hey, you got something on your face. And then it was a pimple.
Oh my God.
I know. Everybody laughed. So forever, F that teacher.
What's her name?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I can just see her face. I don't remember.
What was the school? What was the... Give it all to us.
Roosevelt
She still
Middle
might
School.
be there.
Oak Park, Michigan. There's no way she's still there. But
was she black or
She
white?
might be out there terrorizing other students.
She was black. She was a young black lady. She was new to teaching. So we probably was giving her a hard time. But I wasn't. I was a good student. And he called me out about my pimple. All right. Visual Garage wants to know. Big Rach / Van. If you could have a conversation with your past self, what advice would you give?
Rach?
How past are we going? Because immediate past, I would have said, get a prenup. That's really the advice that I have for myself. I mean, it's true. It's true. No matter what they say, Don't let them talk you into not getting it.
I
Get
do
one.
not in any way demand that you guys consume this podcast in any particular way. But you have got to see that on video. You have to see that on video. Rach settled into that one like a fighter pilot settling into the cockpit of an F-16 Hornet.
There goes that cock again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what you would tell your 5-year younger self. 7.
Yeah. Don't let them talk you out of it.
My younger self. Oh. Now you guys asked this question, and I have to answer it honestly. Stop jacking off. That's what I would tell my younger self. Stop it. The porn thing is going to go too far. Okay? Stop it before you start. I remember a phone call. I called to order Pam and Tommy Lee's celebrity sex tape porn. And the woman was like, for an extra $8.99, I can give you Girls Force 5 with Kobe tie. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, on top of that, for $2.99, you can get blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. After that, it was done. I knew
That's how you started?
It's not how I started. I was always kind of years into the life by then. But that's when I knew that I could just buy it and then they would give it to me. The thing about the thing that's tough about porn, that's different about almost everything else, is that they don't have any problem over-serving you. No one cuts you off. Like if you're at the bar and you're too drunk, or if you're around your friends and you're too drunk and all of that stuff, somebody comes and they say, stop. But porn, no one tells you to stop. There's no person that comes up. The porn companies don't go, hey, that's enough porn today, buddy. That would be funny too. That would be so funny if you logged on to Pornhub and they were like, no more for you. You've hit your limit. You've hit your goal today. But no one does that. So you go further and further and further and further. And before you know it, you got 65 tabs open, whatever. I would say,
say,
cool it. And I was able to tell myself, cool it. But it came years and years and years and years and years after.
Okay.
Actually, Kalika did it. But at the same time, it came, that's why I would tell him, hey, young man, go touch grass. All right? Get out of the house. That's it. Donnie took up a lot of space trying to get back at that teacher.
Damn.
Donnie was so ready.
Donnie asked the question. And
y'all gave nothing.
We didn't have any answers. Donnie was like, let me tell you about this bitch from back in the day, man. Dog-ass bitch looking at my motherfucking... There we go. Are we recording next week? It's Wellness Week.
Yeah. Are we not? Oh, is it Wellness Week?
You want to take the week
No,
off?
it's Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday when we normally record. But
nah, we gotta take it off. We gotta take the day off.
Y'all's call. I'm down to still work and take another day off. But yeah, that's real.
We gotta respect. We gotta take the day off. Either if we can't line up something with an Indigenous person to spotlight them, if we are going to record, it would have to be all about Indigenous people. I don't want to work on the day that we're supposed to be thinking about them. So we'll work it out. We'll talk about that off the podcast. Tasting Caps All, but do not stop learning. I'm Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel and Lindsay. Bye, guys.